everyone, so today's video is going to be my story but also an awareness video about fibroadenomas. So if you've never heard of a fibroadenoma, basically it is a lump that develops in your breast that's benign, which means it's not cancerous. It's just basically the tissue that forms and grows into a lump that moves in your breast. And I had one in 2014. So back in 2014, I was in high school. I came across it when it's kind of small. It was like a little bit small. I could feel it, but I wasn't really sure if it definitely was a lump or not, or I don't know if I was just trying to block it out and not think about it. And then I remember a couple of weeks later, if not a month later, I felt it again, and this time I felt it more prominent, like it felt like it was a bit bigger, or I was just more aware of it this time. So I got my mum to have a look and check, just to make sure I wasn't just being daft. And she had a look and she confirmed that she could feel a lump too. Now, when I was in 2014, I was 17 in high school, and when you feel a lump in your boob, you think the absolute worst. Like, I burst out crying and my mum obviously got upset for me, and we thought we definitely have to go to the doctors, book an appointment, go to the doctors tomorrow to get them to have a look, because you don't know what it is. You find a lump in your body, it could be anything. So the next day I had an emergency appointment and I went in, the doctor looked at it and she confirmed, yep, it's a lump, which obviously I got upset again, and so did my mum as well. But the doctor at the time, she said that it could be a fibroadenoma. She explained that it's quite common for girls, women that are going through puberty. You can develop them at this time, but she said the best thing was to go to the hospital, have an appointment there for like the specialist to look at it, just to confirm that it is a fatty tissue lump or if it's anything else. So a couple of weeks later, I think, if not, time passed, and I got my hospital appointment. And I went, and I was terrified because on the way there I was just thinking the absolute worst. I'm thinking, I found a lump in my breast and this is it. Like, you don't know, you just don't know what it could be, like alien to your body, and you're just terrified that it could be the worst. So I went in for the appointment and the doctor looked at it and he confirmed, with me again getting upset for the third time, if not, he confirmed that it was in fact a fibroadenoma. So that kind of calmed my nerves, finding out that actually no, it's not anything to be worried about. It's just tissue, it's not cancer, it's not a tumour, it's not anything to be worried about. He said that it was just a fatty tissue that grows in the ducts, I think where the breast milk ducts are, like grew in there. He said that the option is you can have it removed or you can leave it, but it just means that you'd have this lump here and it could grow over time, but he said it's up to you. So I opted to get it taken out. So it must have been a month later, during the Easter holidays, I went in for my operation, and you know, I was terrified. Like, I've never been in the hospital like in my life. Like, I've never been into the hospital, I've never been like sick or anything like that. So going into this was terrifying, because obviously needles, things like this. So I went in early in the morning, 9 o'clock, and there was a lot of waiting around. Like, there was a lot of kind of sitting in the waiting room, then being upstairs in a room, and then we got moved downstairs, and there was this other girl that was getting an operation on the same thing, the exact same thing. So that was kind of nice to be able to talk to someone else that was like worried and going through the same thing as me. I felt like I was alright, like I was nervous, but I wasn't really scared until the moment that they decided to take me in to put in the anaesthesia to put me under. That was the moment that it felt real, like I was actually going for an operation, like they were going to open up the body. So yeah, I freaked out because like one of my biggest phobias is needles. Like it scares, not even scares me, like I've had JAGs in the past, like dentist JAGs or HPV vaccinations, whatever, like I've had JAGs. I think it's just just seeing it going in or seeing blood, it just makes me like pass out. Like there's been many times where I've nearly passed out, like when my mum get blood taken, I nearly passed out in the hospital. So anyway, so I get taken upstairs and they're about to put in the cannula to put in this IV of sedation, and I freaked out. I started crying. I'm like, I can't do this. And the nurses and the doctors were actually really lovely. Like they were like, okay, like don't panic, it's fine. What about the gas? So I was like, oh, like what's the gas? Like laughing gas? Like what is it like? And they were like, put it on, you count back from 10 and you'll wake up at the other side in the recovery. And literally that's what happened. Last thing I remember was having it on, 10, 9, black, woke up in the recovery, not having a clue that the operation had just happened. It was so quick, it was like blink of an eye, do not remember. So yeah, it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, and the recovery from the operation wasn't that bad. It was just kind of in an awkward place. So they cut where mine was kind of, they have to make an incision just above the nipple to be able to go in and get the tissue and pull it out. So I had stitches here, so it was a bit hard going back to work and like B&Q and things like that, heavy lifting. I wasn't able to do any of this, just in case I knocked it. But after a few weeks you were fine. Like I had some painkillers at first, but then the stitches dissolved and it was fine. Like there wasn't any pain, there wasn't anything. And now the scars completely faded because where they cut in the nipple, it's just like on top, it's blended in, so you wouldn't even know that there was an incision there. So yeah, so what is it now? It's 4 years later from the operation, and constantly I'm still checking the boobs or getting someone to have a look just in case that there's any more fibroadenomas or anything else, because it's quite common that once you've had one you could develop more later on in life. So it's always like best to check your armpits, breasts, wherever. Like if you're a guy, check your area, you know, like always check for lumps just in case. Like it's always better to get it checked than just to leave it. Like even if you're scared, like I was scared at the beginning and I ignored it. Then I went to get it checked eventually and it didn't turn out as bad as I thought it would be. So always just get it checked just in case. You never know what it could be, but you're better going to a specialist instead of ignoring it, and leaving it could make it worse. It could develop something over time. So yeah, so this was my story / awareness on fibroadenomas. And if you have any questions about it, about the operation, about what they are or anything, I'll put some links in the bottom, but you can also ask me any questions. I've been through it and I'm on the other side and it's fine, you know. So yeah, thanks for watching and I hope you learned something new, and thanks. Goodbye.